Hello, everyone. It's Andrea Vahl, and I am here with the fabulous Rachael Seda Brown. Is that, am I pronouncing that all right?
Really
I mean, Brown, obviously, Brown's pretty easy, but like.
You're spot on.
I always get nervous when I'm about to pronounce someone's name. I'm like, oh, what if it's Rochelle? I know it's not, but
I do the same thing. I was like, I have pronouncing this in my head for a while, but it might not be how you do it.
I know. Even though it's so funny. Well, we've known each other for a while, even though I like panic and anyway, but I am so excited to have you on the show, and we've connected and we actually had a fun little meetup at Social Media Marketing World last.
Yes, so that was did.
That was fun.
I know, right before, the stay at home.
I know. Good times. Good times. So awesome. So I am going to remember what my first question is, because just tell us a little bit about how you got started. I kind of we were talking a little bit about the segue from corporate to what you're doing now. I'd love to hear how that started, how that came about, and kind of how Mix and Shine Marketing was born.
Sure. So I started out in the nonprofit world and then worked for another, a solo entrepreneur that really just did digital online marketing, and kind of worked for her for a while before I worked at a national agency. And at a national agency, that was really fun. Obviously, we got to work on a lot of really cool campaigns, like big clients. And after a few years of doing that, I just realized that, just the freedom to even be able to work from where you want to, especially when you're working 14-hour days, when you decide, I think a coffee shop would be nice, but you can't, because they're just not part of the rules of a corporate environment, especially then. And just some of the things of the bigger the agency got, the farther away you got from the clients. And we really saw that when we worked really closely with our clients as a very close-knit team, and they knew who was working on their accounts, and everybody was very clear about the goal and was excited about the goal, that's where we saw the needle really move for clients. That's when they were accomplishing big goals and winning awards and all the things that they wanted to do. And as the agency got bigger, we just felt like we kind of got away from that and not as close to our clients. And that's what I really loved. So my business partner and I actually went to go get margaritas one day after work, and we were.
That's where all the best stuff happens.
Yeah, it is. Margaritas and queso. There's no better inspiration. And I was like, you know what? I mean, we do all of the things. Why couldn't we try to do this for ourselves? Why not? What's the worst that can happen? We have enough experience. We'd get a job in marketing if it didn't work out, because I like to think of all the worst case scenarios.
Yes.
So I'm not really a big risk taker.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I think, why not? Why shouldn't we just start and do it? And we at the time had the consultant that I used to work for. She had been onboarding a lot of clients, and at the time it had asked me to come and work for her again. So I was like, well, we could leave and freelance with her and start our own business.
Right.
So the next morning at the office, we looked at each other making our coffee, and she goes, well, were you serious? I'm serious. Were you serious? Is it the tequila talking, or just have the same idea? And literally all I remember is we went back to our offices and we started working on creating a business that day. And we went through all the steps of we would meet at the coffee shop really early before we got into the office. Things like an LLC, all the things we had to figure out, or call a friend that did it. And then we launched our business 6 months later, and we've been doing it ever since. So we're on year 7.
Oh, that's
awesome. No regrets. Not ever a day that I was like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't have done this.
Oh, that is just awesome. That's giving me goosebumps. I love that story. Just that's so cool. It's just, I love it. And we have a good morning from the Philippines.
Oh, nice.
Morning, Manchin. Good to see you. Yeah. And that is just such, out of all, I've been doing these interviews, and everyone has said that they just don't regret taking this leap and starting their own thing, even though it's hard sometimes, right? But working for someone is hard sometimes too, you know?
Sure.
So it's not like this is a cakewalk either way. No, it's
Yeah.
fun though. It's way more fun. I think you can work on the projects you want. And like you said, you're much closer to the clients. So I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Awesome. So, do you have, I know you do a lot of things at Mix and Shine. Is there one sweet spot you feel like you really kind of focus on, something that a type of client you love to work with? What is that?
Sure. Yeah. So we focus really on the digital space and provide marketing in really social media marketing and advertising, and then create like large marketing campaigns. So I love working on like consumer packaged goods clients just because they're super fun. We actually have a vegan non-dairy ice cream client that we're working on right now that will go to market in February. So we helped them. We put them through a design sprint, which is what Google process created there that a lot of companies do just to create their brand and everything. And now we're preparing like the go to market, and it will be a total digital strategy. So we're looking at like influencer marketing, social media, content creation, like creating like content that really stops the scroll. And then adding in with that PR, media outreach, and then our online advertising.
Wow. So that sounds like a really big campaign. That is super comprehensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's got to be a lot of moving parts in there.
Yes, a lot of moving parts, but that's why you build a team. We have an amazing team that everybody has like, different expertise and a different way of looking at things, which is helpful. I like working on stuff like that, where it's like all integrated. You really get to see that, like, you also get to see what's working, what's not working as well, and pivot and shift, whether it's budget or tactics, which I think is really fun.
Right. And how do you, like, this is not on our list, but I'm just thinking that you've got a great perspective on this. How do you manage your team? Because I think this is a huge question that comes up for agencies. Like, and I even have this whole problem myself, just like pulling people in and out, and like, when do you decide to hire versus contract? What are some of the criteria that you use around pulling your team together?
Yes. So that's very interesting that you brought that up, because we are in a growth phase right now, and I call it a little bit of growing pains, but in a good way. So our team right now is all independent contractors. Okay. So I think we're looking at a place where, and mostly on a fee basis, so that they have some stake in the game. So it's not just like, well, I have 5 hours for you this month. It's more of like, I have a substantial bucket for you, and these are the types of things I want you to focus on. Right. So I think when people have that, they're a little bit more invested, especially as like an independent contractor. Sure, they work for other consultants or themselves. But if you give, a substantial amount of money and a project that they can like run and feel like they own, I think that's really helpful. Yeah. We're actually on the cusp right now of looking at like, okay, so at what point do we just decide to hire? Right. So taking someone from an independent contractor to a full-time employee, so that, you're never wondering like, are you here today? Can you do this? I know. I think that is a struggle. Do you have?
So I have the same thing where I am just about to probably hire someone, and it's like, but it's time. It's like, I can't do it. I can't do anymore. And I don't want to have, it just makes more sense to have a full-time person, or at least half-time, than have, kind of that like, oh, I need this sort of quickly, and oh, you're busy now, so.
Yeah. But we still do like, we started doing like bi-weekly meetings so the team can all meet together. We have a Slack channel where everybody's on. So even if somebody's like, does somebody have a second to proof this before it gets into a client? Like, we're all big about like proofing and making sure that we work together. I think sometimes it's even having those systems, but also what we provide is like the freedom, right? Like, you can work from anywhere. You don't have to be online from 9 to 5, but it's nice to know, you set deadlines, and you just make sure you have checkpoints, like check into Slack once a day. But I think that's nice. And even I feel like when we do have full-time people, one day, I would like to still keep that mentality a little bit as much as you can, because that is the joy of working certain places, is that, Yeah. Like in my opinion, I want to hire people that are driven themselves, that don't need to be babysat, you know? And like, I think that we treat people like they need to be babysat, but they don't.
Right.
Not if
Right.
you hire the right people.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's a huge thing, is just making sure you've got the right people on your team who have the same philosophy. And I think that's the thing that is always a challenge. But when you find those people, they are just, I mean, it's magic, right? So
Yes.
That's great. That's awesome. Okay. So you've already kind of covered on some of these things around, what do you love about working for yourself? I would say, but unless there's something else, I know you talked about flexibility and stuff like that. Is there?
Yeah, no, I would say that's the biggest one. I know for you starting your business, like as a mom, that was something to have that flexibility and be able to still have something that was yours that you own.
Yeah.
And I feel like women like you, like inspired me to do the same, to like, you know what? I want to be able to go pick up my kid at 4:30 from school,
I know.
or to go to a game and know that like I can work later if I choose to do that.
Right.
So yeah, I think the flexibility and to be able to make those decisions are key. It's better than any salary.
It's awesome, for sure. And I think the other thing that I love about this, and being a mom and being a parent, is that you can scale things back too. So, I know that, and I think there is a sort of a ebb and flow. Sometimes I think summer slows down. Other times I'm like, wait, where's my summer?
Yeah.
but for sure, for me, I started really part-time when I was with my kid, and now it's all like full-time, probably plus full-time.
Overtime.
Yes, right. That's why I need to hire. So there we go. What are you most proud of in your business that you've accomplished? I mean, 7 years is amazing. That is an amazing accomplishment. Is there anything else like that is like shines out?
I would say just growing an amazing team of people who are just as dedicated to my business, even as contractors, as I am, and being able to work. I think when you leave, especially when I left a big national agency, the fear was like, we'll never be able to work on those big pool accounts again. We'll always work on small, and that's not the case. Like I just said, we have a non-dairy ice cream client that will go to market, and it's a national brand.
Awesome.
We work with very large health systems and big nonprofits. So, and we have a whole array of clients. We have consulting clients I just met with somebody today that makes bags, and they just wanted some help with their website and blogging and what to put in there. So we do have those small businesses and those, solo entrepreneurs, if you would, but you can, there's no reason why you can't work with big national brands if that's what you want to do. And I think that's the fear that often holds people back is, well, I have to be a big company to do that. And that's not true.
Yeah. I love that. That's really great, because that is so true. I've worked with some big nationally known brands as well. And I think they appreciate the boutique service and the attention that you can give them as a smaller, more agile agency than like, sometimes the big agencies are kind of a small fish in that pond there. So yeah. Awesome. What are one or two tips that you have for people running ads for clients? What is, either Facebook ads tip or just working with clients? Like what are some top tips that you have or gotchas?
I think the first one is that a lot of people, I know that you've experienced this, think it's like the magic bullet, right? That they're like, I need you to do this because I need this. It's like, well, do you have like a website, landing pages, like content that is going to like stop the scroll? And so they move to, I just need this solution to solve all my problems. And you and I know that that's not the case.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard to sometimes eloquently explain that, because then they see dollar signs. But for us, if those things aren't in place, we can't be successful. And then they're going to leave anyways. We wouldn't be able to do our jobs. And then they're still going to feel like they've spent money that wasn't worth it. So I think it's being able to talk the client through, like, let's really look at your goals and what you have, and let's see what needs to be created before we can even get here.
Yeah.
If we see something creative before we get here.
Yeah. Yeah. That is huge because they just jump in and they're like, I've heard this. And I want you to just boom, hand it to me.
Yeah. In your Facebook Advertising Secrets, I know, like, I went through that program. It was amazing. It's the only reason we're able to offer social ads is like, I really realized that like we have to learn how to do this. And I've, followed along with you for 10 years before I took your course, or I don't know, it seems forever now. Yeah, I was, but that, like, even in your course, we talk about like, do you know who your customer is? And I think a lot of times people want to say, well, anybody could be my customer. They could all buy my ice cream. They could all buy my bags. And it's like, okay, sure. Maybe they could, but like, who are you actually going to put your money in advertising behind? And who is that person? Because that changes your copy. It changes your creative. It changes how you speak, how you target. You and I know, like, and I think a lot of people just want to be the solution for everybody, or they haven't even stopped to think about it.
Yeah.
Who their ideal customer really is.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of times that, kind of talking about copy, they lead with, you've really got to lead with that hook that where is that customer currently in their pain point? They're not really wanting to see all your features right now. They just don't, because they need to know you understand their problem. And so writing ads and doing all that branding and everything is really about, really getting in the mind of the customer and kind of appealing to them and connecting to them and having them know that you understand their problem and you're going to help them get to the solution. So that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. Advertising to the right people is huge. So, awesome. Well, you already kind of touched on this one about I was going to ask about the value of being a member of the course, but for sure it is being able to offer that service, and
it's funny because I remember, it's an investment, right? And I think it's hard as a business owner when you're making the investment into your money, instead of professional development money that was just given to you because you work for someone. So you take it very seriously, but I think the best thing I can share with someone is if you really want to offer the service or you really want to do this and learn it for your own business, just to think and know that this investment will pay itself forward tenfold. Like I know that after like being certified or even maybe before that, we were able to take on clients. Like I paid off within the first month what I afforded in your program. And then since then, we have like 8 to 10 clients that are, Facebook ad, social ad clients. So it's definitely paying for itself. And I remember when I talked to you and I was like, okay, now it's becoming overwhelming. I have too many clients. What do I do? And you're like, I'll call you really quick. And I was like, okay. And you really helped me even walk through so there's a content person, like who can you hire? And I hired somebody within the program too, because I knew they were certified and I could find someone that I knew what they were talking about because they went through your program. But even to your own credit to say that like, this is an online program, but the value in that group and the value in the fact that like, I'm just one of many that you were like, you have I'm going to just set up a call and let's go over this for 15 minutes. And it helped me solve my problem. And now we can take on more clients. Yes. And I've streamlined the process and the system and systemized it. So I think what it costs is so little versus what you're going to make in an investment for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Yay. That's so great. I love it. Love it. Thank you so much. So, wow, this went so fast. I could talk, we could just chat all day about stuff. So tell us where people can find you. And I'm going to put this in the chat as well.
Yes.
But you've got a 5-day free challenge coming up, right?
Yes. So the challenge is essentially, we just identified that people do not know who their ideal customer is. So they are not attracting their ideal client because they don't even know who they are. So it's a 5-day challenge to help you understand and nail down who your client is and how you can speak to them and reach them so that you can get clients. And it's something that we've, had to figure out both for ourselves and our own clients.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the Corporate Dropout Podcast, which you were
Yes.
on. And we love to hang out on Instagram. So it's Mix and Shine PR on Instagram.
Awesome. And yeah, I love your podcast is awesome. Corporate Dropout. I think that's huge because I think there's a lot of people who are like, working for yourself isn't as risky sometimes as working for a corporation. And I know I was laid off, and I know that sometimes you're not happy with what you're able to do or allowed to do in kind of some narrow constraints. So being able to run your own business is huge.
Yeah.
So
totally.
You're helping people.
Hey, nobody's laid you off since, have they?
No, I have. I mean, my boss is kind of a hard ass sometimes, but no, I love it. It's awesome. So thank you so much for being a part of this. And it's great to hear your experience. Yeah. So great. Thanks everyone for tuning in. See you later.
Bye.